It said we overcome. They have conquered him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. It's gonna be your testimony aligned with another testimony. It can't just be your testimony because you just feel like giving a testimony. It has to be a specific testimony. Blessed are they who believe and have not yet seen, right? Blessed are they. Who believe and have not seen. It ties in perfectly with we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony. It ties in. All right. It says, your testimonies have made me great. Your testimonies are my delight. Your testimonies are my heritage forever. Look, your testimonies are my heritage. It's the gospel, the ancient paths. The words that lamp to my feet. The wicked have set a snare for me, but I have not strayed from your precepts. Your testimonies. Whose testimonies? Your testimonies are my heritage forever, for they are the joy of my heart. Why? Because he's showing me what? I am his son. I have inclined my heart to perform your statutes, even to the very what? End. Do you not see? It's my testimonies that bring forth the end of the world. It's my testimony that brings forth the plagues. It's my testimony that's bringing forth everything. It's my testimony that's bringing forth coronavirus and brought forth all this stuff. It's my testimonies. Inside of my testimonies are also judgments. The whole world is being judged by my testimonies. Look, the double-minded I despise, but your law I love. You are my hiding place and my shield. I put my hope in your word. Depart from me, you evildoers. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness. It's happening now. Those who cannot take my testimonies, you have to leave. You can't stand my presence. If you're done listening to my testimonies, meantime they gotta say they be said. The testimonies, how many times I say them, is bringing forth the end. If you have a problem with hearing my testimonies over and over and over again, guess what? You're in the wrong place, because it is my heritage. So telling me to stop saying my testimony is the same thing as saying stop being Ebo, stop being Yah, stop being the son of Yah. It is my heritage. It is my right. And by me saying it, the whole world is resetting. The one who's been here before all of us, bringing forth his testimony, is resetting the world. I put my hope in your word. Depart from me, you evildoers. I ain't got to go nowhere. You do. And you're evil if you can't take my testimonies. Watch this, that I may obey the commandments of my Yah, which is what? To bring forth the testimonies. Sustain me as you promised. Look, this is talking about the time when he comes back. Sustain me as you promised, that I may live. Let me not be ashamed of my hope. Meaning what? The very thing that I'm hoping for, let it be true. Upon me, and I will uphold me, and I will be saved, that I may always regard your statutes. You reject all who stray from your statutes. You reject all those who can't listen to my testimony. For their deceitfulness is in vain. Meaning what? They're deceitful. They're not really who they are. All the wicked on earth you discard like dross. See, watch. Therefore, I love your testimonies. So the testimonies in my mouth are not mine. They're his. And as much as they did not want to actually retain the thoughts or the words of Yah, the Father gave them over to a reprobate mind. That's when you get turned out. That's when you walk away from Goshen. That's when you walk away from everything. My flesh trembles in awe of you. I stand in fear of your judgments. Do you see? Because I'm starting to see some stuff. Now, wonderful are your testimonies. Let's go back. I have done what is just and right. Do not lead me to my oppressors, the ones who are speaking bad against me. Oh, he did this, he did that, he did this. I was like, he's already looked. I have done. Meaning, if I've already finished it. Now, when y'all looking at me living on the second half of life. I'm on the second part. I've been raised back up to inherit everything. So y'all just looking at me, thinking people are taking judgments, when they don't understand I'm the one that's judging you. And my judgments counts. Your judgments do not. Ensure your servants' well-being. Do not let the arrogant oppress me. See, the ones who think they're on the same level as me. That's arrogant. To think you're, you know what I'm saying? That's what people in the world, to think like, hey, I got something to say, and what I got to say is like the same value as he has to say, or you're the only one. That's arrogant to even say that. Because what testimony do you have aligned in your mouth? If you ain't been saying it way back then in 97, 98, 90, those times, and you're just now saying them, what evidence or what proof is there? That's just now. That's only 1 or 2 years versus 20 or more. There's a difference. You're just starting out. Even a business, it takes 5 years for a business to be established. 10 years for it to actually make good rapport. No business is established in 1 year. So if you only got one testimony or got testimony from just 1 year, sit down somewhere, student. You are not the teacher. And it's happening when? 2022, 2023, 2021, 2019, 2017, any of those things. Sit down somewhere. Ensure your servant's well-being. Do not let the arrogant oppress me. My eyes fell looking for your salvation and for your righteous promise. Deal with your servant according to your love and devotion and teach me your statutes. I am your servant. Give me understanding that I may know your testimonies. Why? Because that seal is inside that scroll. Our testimonies always says seal up the words. He's sealing up what? The testimonies. It is time for the Lord to act. Who? The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. For they have broken your law. See? It's bringing forth judgment of the end of the world. Therefore, I love your commandments. Watch this, more than gold. We're in a time when money is running everything. People are doing anything for money, but they're putting behind the commandments. Watch this, even the purest gold. Therefore, I admire all your precepts and hate every false way. Wonderful are your testimonies. Therefore, I obey them. The unfolding of your words gives light. It informs the simple. What's it doing? It's giving instructions. It's revealing something. Revelation is coming forth as a testimony. I open my mouth and pant, longing for your commandments. Turn to me and show me mercy, as you do to those who love your name, which is what? Love your King. Blessed is he who comes in the name. The name is the one who is carrying the testimonies. We have the word, then we have the name. The name carries the testimony. You shall suffer for my name. It's bearing witness of the testimony of who Yah is. Revelations 10. At the time when this angel begins to sound, what's he sounding? Testimony. He is giving he is what? Begin to tell who he is. The mystery, revelation, will be finished. So Revelation is finished at Revelations 10. And after Revelations 10 begins, it brings forth the other 10 chapters that bring forth the end. It is the testimonies of this seventh angel that is bringing forth the end. And the angel in the small scroll. Look, seal up those things. It's a testimony. And the angel, which I saw stand upon the sea, upon the earth, lifted up his hand to heaven. What is he about to do? He's about to testify and swear by him, just like he's in a courtroom, about to testify, right? That liveth forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that therein are, and the earth and the things that therein are, and the sea and the things which are therein, that there shall be time no longer. Why? Because, and this gospel shall be preached until the end of the world, and then the end will come. So the moment that he begins to sound off his voice, giving forth of the testimony, giving forth of the gospel as a testimony, the end is speeding up. But in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, what is he doing? Speaking forth testimonies. When he shall begin to testify, sound, the mystery, the testimonies of Yah should be finished. The gospel is going to bring forth the end, as he has stated, as he has declared to his servants, the prophets. And this gospel shall bring forth the end of the world. Look, and he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples, nations, and tongues, and kings. That's why the Son of Man does not know when the end will be, because he is bringing forth a testimony. It's the Son of Man giving forth his testimony. And when the Son of Man is done giving forth his testimony, that is then the end. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world. How is the gospel of the kingdom be preached? It's going to come forth as a testimony. A testimony that a person says to all nations. This is what I saw. This is what I heard. This is what he said. And then the end will come. And the thing, but in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of Yah should be finished, that there should be time no longer. Now, is what you think you know important now? Is what people are talking about important now? Out my mouth and pant, longing for your commandments. Turn to me and show me mercy, as you do to those who love your name. Order my steps. Where? In your word. Because this person, try the spirit by the spirit, because the spirit is coming with the testimonies of the word. Let no sin rule over me, which is what? Anything opposite of your word. Redeem me from the oppression of men, that I may keep your precepts, your word. Make your face shine upon your servant, and teach me your statutes. My eyes shed streams of tears, because your law is not obeyed. When the Son of Man comes, will he find faith? Or will he find people just trying to do what they want to do? Think what they want to think. Believe what they want to believe. Feel how they want to feel. Righteous are you, O Yah, and upright are your judgments. The testimonies you have laid down are righteous and altogether faithful. This is coming out of the mouth of the righteous one. Righteousness, the King of righteousness. You are Lord, right? So righteous are you, O Lord, and upright are your judgment. Remember, the Father judges no man. So since the Father is not judging no man, this judgment, this verse of scripture is talking about the Son. And it might be David talking about himself in third person. The testimonies you have laid down are righteous. It's the King, and altogether faithful. So let's put the right thing there. King, righteous King, are you, O King, and upright are your judgments. The testimonies you have laid down are righteous and altogether faithful. My zeal has consumed me. See, look, he is speaking about himself. Right, my zeal has consumed me. He talks about all this right here, and then gets here. My zeal has consumed me. Why? Because he's talking about himself. Because my foes forget your words. Your promise is completely pure. Your promise is completely pure. So we have Messiah. And then we have David says, my zeal is consuming. Why? This thing is eating me up. I'm thirsty. I'm seeing some things. Therefore your servant loves it. See, I am lowly and despised, but I do not forget your precepts. Your righteousness is everlasting, and your law is true. Trouble and distress have found me, but your commandments are my delight. Your testimonies are righteous forever. Give me understanding that I may live. I call with all my heart, answer me, O Yah. I will obey your statutes. I call to you, save me, that I may keep your testimonies. I rise before dawn and cry for help. In your word I put my hope. My eyes anticipate the watches of night, that I may meditate on your word. Hear my voice, O Yah, according to your loving devotion. Give me life according to your justice. Those who follow after wickedness draw near. They are far from your law. You are near, O Yah, and all your commandments are true. Long ago I learned from your testimonies. Long ago I learned from your testimonies that you have established them forever. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my word, my testimonies shall never pass away. Now look how salvation is working. It's working through testimony. Now watch this. Now look how testimonies can bring forth salvation or bring forth damnation. The whole middle part is what? Belief. Do you believe what I just said to you? I don't know. I mean, because I had my own little similar, situation or similar spiritual endeavor or spiritual insight or spiritual witness or spiritual experience. And it was nothing like yours, so I can't just say yours is toppling mine because I know the Father just like you know him too. I have a testimony. We overcome by the blood of the Lamb. We overcome by the word of our testimony, not just your testimony, but my testimony too. What's your testimony giving testimony to? About the things happen in my life. How the Lord delivered me, how the Lord did these things. So that's what's going to do it. Wouldn't that be the same thing as your own righteousness? Wouldn't that be the same thing as your own righteousness, the same thing as filthy rags? Would it not be dependent upon another person's testimony and you're believing it? For the scripture says, blessed are those who believe and have not seen. I never thought of it that way. I know, but I'm telling you, if your testimony is based off of your testimony about you, but not about the one who is saving you, how does that help you? Blessed are they who believe and have not yet seen. Why? Because it is literally salvation. Salvation is coming through belief. That's why it says a sign will be given to a wicked and perverse generation seeks for a sign, but no sign will be given it except the sign of Jonas. What's the sign of Jonas? Wow. Let's go see the sign of Jonas. We're missing it, but it's right there. Let me ask this question. Did anybody see Jonah get eaten up by the whale? Good one, in it. They had to simply believe. And this monster spit me out on this seashore to tell you this message. Listen how that sound. How'd you get up here to Nineveh? You didn't come up here by a ship. No. I came up here by way of whale. Like Wales? Like Britain? London? No. At this time, this would not be created. Using a what? A what? Jonah cast into the sea. Then the man feared Yah greatly, and they offered a sacrifice to Yah and made vows to him. Now the Yah had appointed a great fish to swallow Jonah. And Jonah spent 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the fish. No one sees this. A wicked and adulterous generation demands a sign, but none will be given except the sign of Jonah. Then he left them and went away. The people are not there when Jonah get eaten. They had to believe that this man was eaten. Let's go. That's why it says, what can I say about this generation? And he compares it, why? To the same one who actually heard something preposterous, but yet believed and was saved. He said, this generation of John or whatever will rise up against this generation and judge them. Why? For when they heard the preaching of Jonah, they repented. While this generation is going to hear hear preaching and going to still stay the same. He's not talking about the world. He's talking about our people, because our people are going to be so full of self, and they're not going to understand. I got a word to say. When the Lord speaks to me, I'm spiritual. Everyone wants to see themselves as something spiritual, something deep, and you are not. Period. You are not. I've been banished from your sight, yet I will look once more towards your holy temple. The waters engulf me to take my life. The watery depths close around me. The seaweed wrap around my head. To the roots of the mountains I descended. The earth beneath me barred me in forever. But you raised my life from the pit, O Yah. As my life was fading away, I remember, Yah. My prayer went up to you, to your holy temple. Those who clean the worthless idols forsake his loving devotion, but I, with the voice of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you, keeping what? The feast. I will fulfill what I vowed. Salvation is from the Lord. So salvation starts when what? When you will fulfill what you have vowed, meaning what? Returning back to the feast day, returning back to the Sabbath. Then the Father will send the Lord so you can keep it unto him. That is his son. And after that, watch this, and the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah unto dry land. Once the people will make this vow to the Father, then the Father will free everyone. But your freedom is not going to come with you just being super duper free to do what it is you want to do. It's be freedom to follow what he told you to follow and keep what he told you to keep. And that's when that agreement was made. Then the Father vomit Jonah up. He calls him to have the fish to spit him up.